What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers adding Luka really just changed the course and direction for this team now and obviously going forward, the future, right? Luka's the guy that we're expected to build around the next 10 years. He's supposed to be our franchise guy. He's supposed to be the face of the Lakers going forward. But Lakers had a clear path and direction before the Luka trade in which they wanted to kind of build and structure this team. They really wanted to lean heavily on the defensive side. You saw, like defense. A lot of the trade targets, a lot of the potential as far as wing depth and center depth and all that were all kind of center oriented. Right? There were some talks about, like a Nikola Vucevic because you have Anthony Davis, right? Guy like that. But for the most part, it was we need defense, right? Now, to an extent, yes. As far as trades go, I don't think anything has really changed in that department, right? You still need perimeter defense and you still need interior defense, right? I think the priorities have shifted, right? So, I talked heavily about how because you have Anthony Davis, I think the perimeter defense is more of a priority than the interior right now because, again, you have Anthony Davis. Not saying that you don't get a center, not saying you don't get a guy, but you don't necessarily need that high caliber starting center. Unless if you could get a Walker Kessler or a Miles Turner, then of course you do that. You still do that right now. But outside of that, unless you get one of those two guys I've talked about, right? I'm okay with just going and getting a Day'Ron Sharpe to just kind of bring in and then spend the money out on the perimeter. Well, now that you have Luka, that has shifted, right? Now, center should be your biggest priority. You have to get a center. Problem is, there's not this luxury of centers available. There are some, and there are some that make some sense for the Lakers, but prices, all of that, more likely than not, you're probably not solving your long-term center option till the offseason, right? Obviously, if they get a Nick Claxton or something like that has been linked to the Lakers, then beautiful. That's something that could change. But you still need the perimeter defense, right? However, here's the thing. Lakers, now with Luka and LeBron, are, at least for now, going to have to pivot to the offensive side of things, right? They are going to be one of, if not the best offenses in the entire NBA. You have two of the greatest shot creators ever. Not just right now, ever. You have two of the best just scorers ever. Right? Guys that can self-create, guys that can create for others. Two guys that are essentially going to be able to get other guys to look like better versions of themselves, right? So offense is going to be the key. Now, you're not completely inept defensively. Jared Vanderbilt's going to become more and more important, right? Lakers desperately, by the playoffs, need 100% Jared Vanderbilt. Whatever you have to, if you have to sit him a week at a time just to get him healthy and right, whatever it takes, Jared Vanderbilt becomes almost untradeable at this point because you need that defensive presence, right? I've even talked about, I wouldn't hate Luka, Jared Vanderbilt, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and then whatever center you can get, right? Because again, between Luka and LeBron, you're going to be able to generate so much advantage points, right? You just need guys to be able to, you just need that motion offense, right? So I do believe that the Lakers, and the reports have even came out that the Lakers are prioritizing offense now. That's kind of that's where they think that they'll find their success. They're not prioritizing offense on the trade market, but just right now, internally, it's hey, we need to be the best offensive team in the league. And they do. Now, look, defense wins championships. I get that. And it still reigns true. But there was an outlier 2 seasons ago in the Denver Nuggets. So Denver was so good offensively and so much better than everybody offensively, they were able to win the championship and run through the league. They were 15th in defense that year. They were second worst in the playoffs. Right? It was the first time in 40 years or whatever that a team that wasn't in the top 10 defensively won a championship, right? You even think and go back to those Warrior teams that were just had crazy point differentials. They were very good defensively. You had Draymond, prime KD, who was a good defender, and Klay Thompson, who was a great defender, right? So again, you look at all these teams, they were defense is still a thing. Boston last year was one of the better defensive teams, right? Dallas got to the finals, not on their offense. They got to the finals on their defense. Right? So defense, yes, is still very important, but there are outliers. And the Lakers are hoping to be one of those outliers, right? Your hope right now, if you want to win a championship this year, is that Luka and LeBron can be good enough offensively and generate enough offense to where you're going to be able to win and close out games. Right now, games might be a lot tighter than you want them to be on a regular basis, but they were already for the Lakers, right? With AD and LeBron. And Lakers were already bad defensively with AD, right? They were like, 21st, I think, in total defense. So, again, it's really gonna be buy-in, and you're really gonna have to lean more than ever into guys like Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt, right? The days of starting Rui and Austin Reeves, I don't know if you can do that. They probably will start Austin Reeves, at least for right now, right? Jared Vanderbilt, because, again, he's not 100%. You don't want to rush him in or anything like that. Probably going Luka, Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and then whoever their center is. Hopefully not Jackson Hayes. Again, I like Jackson Hayes, but as like your third big. As your main big, you're in trouble. But that's what you're going to have to go for, right? Like, Lakers are basically going to have to be averaging 120 to 125 points per game, which is very possible, right? Again, Luka by himself is going to generate you probably 70 points a game, right? Like, and then LeBron's going to be able to generate you, another, 70 points a game, right? Like, in all seriousness, probably, like, because you got to figure Luka's probably going to average 28 to 30. He's going to get you 8 to 10 assists a night, right? Which is going to get you, let's say, even if all are twos, that's, essentially 50 points of creation that he's going to get you. And then LeBron's going to get you, 25 with another 8 to 10 assists. So, again, both guys collectively are going to get you to 100 to 110, maybe 120 points a night, just collectively being those engines, right? It's going to come down to the play style, the offensive schemes, right? Guys moving without the basketball more so than they already do, right? Like, you're going to have to play a very specific way, a very specific style of offense, which I trust JJ and our coaching staff do really good. They've done very good in, like, their offensive executions, ATO, stuff like that. So I do believe that the Lakers will be one of the best offenses. They need to get to just serviceable defensively, right? Can they move into, like, the 15 to 18 range? Because I don't think they're going to necessarily move to, like, the top 10 or anything like that. In a perfect world, if the Lakers can find a way to move into the top 10, then they're true contender. Because you'd probably be the best offense, top 10 defense. You're a contender at that point. But realistically, you need to get to at least serviceable defensively. You need to be kind of middle of the pack defensively, and then best offense. If you're the best offense and you're leading the league in offensive efficiency and you're middle of the pack defensively, you're probably not a true contender, but you have a very good chance of winning, right? Because you're going to be able to score enough points to win the game, and you're just serviceable enough defensively to just kind of squeeze out those margins, right? Probably not going to have some crazy point differential or anything like that, but you should be able to create enough separation to actually win more times than not, right? Again, Lakers, so, like, you look at the advanced metrics and stuff like that, and Lakers having, like, a negative point differential and stuff. Lakers are supposed to be an under 500 team. Lakers have actually overachieved based on what their stats and production says, right? And that was with Anthony Davis. Well, now you're going to have one of the best production guys in the league in Luka. That point differential might change. Like, Lakers, don't be surprised if the Lakers look better, right? And the numbers say that they're better because, again, you have just that motor and that engine, right? Like, you're not going to be better defensively than without Anthony Davis. But overall, right? Because now you're going to be able to get more buy-in from guys like Reeves can focus more on the defensive side. LeBron can focus more on the defensive side because they're not going to be so responsible for, hey, man, we need Reeves to, one of my concerns is just the lack of consistency for Reeves. Well, now you have a guy in Luka that you can count on giving you, like I said, 50-plus points in production, right? Like Anthony Davis, yes, on any given night can go get you 40, but on a nightly basis, he's not generating, 50 points a night. Right, he's scoring his 25 or whatever, and he's impacting the defensive side, right? So he's creating those advantages. If you want to look at it as like he is creating that 50-point differential just because the defense side, all the gains, the impact. But teams are just shooting the lights out on the exterior, right? Like Lakers' interior defense was fine. It's the perimeter defense that was a problem, which again isn't need. That's why I'm like, hey, we should still get a Bruce Brown, Alonzo Ball, guys like that. But that's the thing, right? Like Lakers are still probably going to be around where they are defensively, right? It's just offensively, there's just going to be that huge stride. And so Luka, I do think, is going to create more overall for the Lakers, paired alongside LeBron, to kind of better balance things out, right? Again, I could be completely wrong. This could be a total disaster. I don't know. But you're talking about, again, two of the best self-creation, engine, offensive motor guys in the league and ever, right? Like, the only two guys that are anywhere in that stratosphere is Jokic, of course. Jokic is a guy that gets you, 70 points a night, right? Like, the guy's ridiculous. But outside of that, right now, there's no one else creating as much impact overall, at least on the offensive side, than Luka and now and LeBron. Like, these are two guys that are giving you 28, 8, and 8, and or in LeBron's case, like 25, 8, and 8, or whatever, right? Like, they're giving you that. And also, now LeBron can kind of focus and buy in more on the defensive side. Got to get serviceable defensively. Lakers need to lean full-fledged into offense, right? Like, you need to... Your offense is everything now, because that's how you're going to win most of these games. That's how, if you do win an NBA championship this year, it's probably on the back of their offense more than their defense, right? Got to get serviceable defensively. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Hey, Phil, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think, again, my thing is I don't think, priority should be, of course, defensive center and defense out on the perimeter. Nothing's changed in that regard. I just don't believe that right now they're going to be able to get all the pieces, because they probably need two big men and like one or two other perimeter guys. You're talking like 4 or 5 players that the Lakers are going to have to bring in to hold that. Now, buyout market, right? Like Torrey Craig, Chris Dort, right? Like two guys that can maybe fill that role. Other guys probably get bought out. So maybe, but you also got to keep in mind, Lakers are limited in the buyout market. Anyone over $13 million, or the mid-level exception, right? Around $13 million, Lakers can't sign. So again, Lakers are very limited here. And so they're gonna have to, I think, work with what they got for the most part, hopefully get a piece or two that can kind of help, and then you're hoping that, again, LeBron and Luka can do enough to lead you to a championship. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question to you. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.